Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy. Yeah, I am now currently, I'm recording this. It's about midway into my last semester in school. I'm working on my final project, my senior short, and I wanted to show you guys today how to break down a scene that you may find really interesting, or like let's say you're watching a movie, some cartoon or something, you like one of the shots and you want to learn how to break it down. And this is more so for animation, but yeah, I'm gonna basically show you guys how I'm gonna approach breaking down this scene because I want to use this shot uh, in my film, but I got to figure it out and tear it apart and kind of see what the animator was doing here. And yeah, so I'm taking this scene from one of the last episodes of The Owl House. I believe the episode is called "Thanks to Them," and that's where I'm getting this little scene from. Which, by the way, it's a spoilers if it's a very short part. It's just like one shot, but if you care about spoilers or any of that, maybe don't watch this because I'm just gonna break it apart. But um, if not, yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I did was, I saw this shot, I really liked it, and what I did was I found it on YouTube. I screen recorded it on my phone, and then I put it here inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, what I did was, usually things import as time code, so you can see how many seconds uh, everything lasts and everything, but because this is animation, I feel like it's more beneficial to, put it in frames. So you can right click, change it to frames, and now I can see exactly where every single drawing is, more or less. The timing may be a little off from, exporting from my phone and everything, but it gives you like a really good base to work off of. Also, sorry if I sound a little nasally or like a little congested. It's like, it's kind of turning into spring and I'm getting the worst allergies ever. It's really bad, but anyways, what I'm basically going to be doing is looking for the key drawings. Um, and the key drawings are basically like the big poses that you want your character to snap to. They're kind of like the most memorable images and stuff like that, and they kind of like they provide like a framework for the timing and duration of your animation, which can always be changed later, but it sets like I guess the grounding for all of that. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I am going to scrub through. I made the timeline very tiny so I can scrub through, but I have my sketchbook on the side, and then I'm taking down notes of every time there's a huge change in the drawing or like the position of the character. Well, I'm gonna be referencing Amity, which is the girl in the center. I said that weird. I'm going to be referencing Amity, which is the girl in the center of the group. I'm not going to do any other characters. There's just going to be one character in my film. And basically, I'm just going to be watching her movements and watching like her character poses and seeing when they drastically change. So, for starters, I'm going to start off here. This will be frame one. My character is going to be centered right here, maybe about this small, in this pose. And then we're just going to scrub through. And now see, there's a change in the drawing right there from frame, 6 to 7. There is a change, but it's not too big of a change. I would honestly consider this maybe like... I want to say that this is like an in-between. And again, I'm just kind of guessing here. I really don't know what the, timing charts look like on the show. But I'm just going to take an educated guess and say that that's an in-between because it's it's very, very similar to the first pose. It just looks like her shoulders and her arms move. So, micro changes like that we're not too concerned about. Those will be in between to later on. But for now, we're just going to work on the bigger poses. So we're just going to keep scrubbing along. Again, maybe this might count, but I'm not going to count it. I'm going to consider this not a key pose, but here now that we get to here, I think this is a key pose. So in my sketchbook, I'm going to write down 1, and then I'm going to do 18. So now I know when I take this into Toon Boom or whatever animation software that I'm going to use, which will most likely be Toon Boom, but for anyone else who's not using that, I'm going to make another drawing on the 18th frame in this pose. Next, I'm going to keep scrubbing along. See, and these micro movements, again, like her fist moving a little bit up, you know, we're gonna do that later in the in-between section. I'm just gonna be working on keyframes. So we keep scrubbing, and then actually there's another key pose. So see, we have this pose where she's holding the staff, but then this one on frame 29, there's a bigger jump in her pose. Now she's leaning forward. She has the staff at an angle, ready to swipe at the hand that's coming towards them. And yeah, so I would consider this another key drawing. So then I would write, you don't have to keep writing them, but for the sake of, you know, explaining, in my notebook now I have 1, 18, and now I'm going to do a different drawing on 29. On frame 29, there's going to be, my character's going to be in this pose. And yeah, that I just, you know, we're just going to keep doing this until we see, or until we break down every part. So again, see, like these micro movements, those are in-betweens. And then here's a bigger change on frame 35. So I'm going to go ahead and take note of frame 35. We're going to do that position. And then here is the impact frame. This one is huge. They are two separate drawings. And if you notice, they're not in-betweened. Because this is a very fast motion, there's no in-betweens here because you want to get the feeling of that hit, if that makes sense. But again, so this is another key drawing, so I'm going to take note of 38. Seeing that frame holds for a little bit, all of this is just camera shake. And then there's another pose, which is coming out of the swipe. So going to take note of 41. Going to keep scrubbing along. And here is where things get a little tricky in my opinion. Maybe these hand movements could be considered, I don't know, keys, but I'm not going to consider them keys. I'm just going to consider them in-betweens because the overall pose is still the same. She's still leaning forward. She's coming out of the swipe. Yeah, and this is a smear frame, so more than likely it is like an in-between. So we're just going to keep going along. And now here, again, this is coming out of those in-betweens, but because this is such a strong pose, and I feel like they kind of hold this pose for a little bit. Yeah, see, they hold it for a couple frames. So that's definitely like, that's definitely, in my eyes at least, that's definitely like a key pose. And see, we're almost kind of done. So we're going to keep scrubbing along. And then, yeah, so that smear frame is an in-between. So we're just going to go from 50, yeah, where is it? It started 53. And then 58 is another key pose. Now she has the staff in the foreground. She's kind of leaning back, but kind of leaning forward. It's kind of weird, but it's a very distinct pose that I'm going to go ahead and say that that's another key. And then, yeah, see the rest, she's holding this pose, but there's more micro movements, which are like in the hair, the cape, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna write down in my notebook, it stops on 58, and we're gonna hold that frame until frame 77, you know, where it actually ends. But yeah, so then when we play this all together, this is gonna look like, it's gonna look like this. And now that I know the timing for this, now I can go into my animation program and start, you know, referencing these poses and then start putting them where they need to be on the timeline and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm going to switch over and I'm going to show you the time lapse of me doing that, drawing my character in these poses on the correct keys. And yeah, let's get right to it. Alright, so let's talk about this shot. I think the idea for it and the way that I thought it would look in my head would have been spectacular. However, when I animated this and I finished this for my animated short, it was not at all how I wanted it to come out, unfortunately. But that's okay because I think it was still a really great study, and I did learn a lot from analyzing all of the different poses that go into like a small interaction between characters. I think I may even come back and revisit this scene and see if I can make it flow a little better. And yeah, I think this method for other projects in the future would be a really great help because I'm always watching cartoons and animations, anime, just all of that in general. So I've been absorbing all of those like shots and techniques and stuff, and I can't wait to try it out for my own stuff. Especially because I struggle with like timing and I don't know. I think that's actually just kind of it. I feel like I struggle with timing and everything just looks a little off. And I also need to start looking at some of like the credits and stuff of like whoever animated these shots. So for example, like this shot in the owl house, I really wish I knew who animated. I'm sure, you know, I just gotta go back and watch the credits, but you know, I feel like the person who did this has some really great resources. Because I really do think, like, if you're a beginner in animation, I highly recommend that you do lots of research. Like, watch lots of shows and study other people's works. And I mean, seriously, it can be so helpful with all of the stuff you do. But anyways, I don't want to start rambling, so I'll start wrapping it up a bit. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys again for the support. And oh yeah, quick life update too. Yeah, so I've been looking for any jobs in the industry to see if I'm worth anything out there, I guess. But I don't know. It's so weird. I'm like kind of scared. I didn't think I would be at this age, but I mean, yeah, I am. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing still, but I'm trying to focus on making a website and then, you know, getting my portfolio together and hopefully putting a better resume together so I can get a job in the field and see what it. But yeah, till then, you know, I still want to reach my goals and stuff. It's just a lot more terrifying than I thought, but I'm still going to keep at it. I am going to have my own animated TV show. Don't know how, don't know when, but I'm going to have it. And yeah, till then, I've just been making the best out of these projects, staying up with drawing or keeping up and, you know, making sure that I draw every day and, you know, I don't want to get rusty. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and I do have a video coming out soon about my senior project, this animated short that I made for school. You know, the one featuring this little clip. Yeah, I'm getting ready to release it soon, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for it to come out. I wasn't able to release it originally when I first made it, just because like I was told to enter it in some competitions and enter it in like festivals and stuff, and when you enter them in these like little, you know, festivals and stuff, they can't be like open to the public. They have to God, my voice. They can't be open to the public. They have to be like privated or unlisted, and yeah, so as long as they're kind of like in rotation, pretty much, you can't really, you know, have them out there. And so I sent mine off to some festivals. I didn't win any. Mine didn't get played at any festivals, but it's been a year now. I don't think I'm gonna resubmit it. So, you know, it's fine. I'm just gonna put it on YouTube and, you know, see what happens, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys would really, you know, enjoy the story that I made. Now, it's not perfect by any means, but I feel like it's just nice to have out there, and yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of it. I know all of its flaws, and I'm actually gonna make a critique video of my work because I feel like that's pretty important. But yeah, so stay on the lookout for all of that, and yeah, hopefully some more gameplay videos with the homies soon, because, you know, those are always super fun. And yeah, thanks again for sticking around for another video. I appreciate all the support. Like, subscribe, all that. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, later homies.